Fitness has been a big part of the lives of my guests today, but they took it one step further. They actually opened their own fitness facility. I'm so pleased to welcome Christina and Jimmy Perry, owner of Olakai Functional Fitness in Brigantine, New Jersey. Thanks so much for joining me today. So tell me how this dream all came about. You have 2 young children, a lot going on in your lives, but this is a dream that you've always had.
Yeah, it's been an interesting road for sure. We've been in the corporate banking world for a long, long time, and it was a really successful career, but we never really enjoyed it. And we have always talked about opening up a fitness center in Brigantine. And I guess for the last 10 years, the market really couldn't handle another gym here. Commercial businesses weren't really thriving here. Then I guess there's always like a silver lining in anything bad that comes along. So COVID happened, and it really woke people up to think about their health and fitness. And the island here completely changed. We have residents from all over the East Coast coming here full time. So an opportunity presented itself. And it's, like I said, it's something we've been dreaming about and talking about for a decade.
Since we met, yeah.
And we finally just took the leap. We quit our jobs. We walked away from everything, and we put all of our money into an old supermarket in the middle of Brigantine. So it's probably the oldest building Brigantine has. I think it was built in 1930. We bought it, we gutted it, we started everything from scratch, and we built like this dream facility that I've had living in my brain for the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah. And it is beautiful. I mean, you guys have done such a wonderful job there. Full disclosure, I teach workout classes, and I teach a class a week from you guys, and it's been so much fun. It really has been fun. You're a young couple just going for it. And how many people talk about someday? There's no day in the week called someday. So I know it is not easy juggling. You have a 1.5-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old son. How has that been?
It's definitely been a struggle, but I mean, having kids really made me focus on prioritizing fitness. It's so easy to put everybody else first as a mom and to kind of put yourself on the back burner. And that's when I tend to burn out. Is when I tend to, not take care of myself. And I have to find the balance, but getting up early, getting here, teaching my classes before the kids are awake, during the dead time, getting home, taking them to the beach. You just have to kind of be good with time management and just making sure that you're making time for your fitness so that you can be a good mom. That's how I look at it.
Time management. That's the understatement of the year. And that's with every family, I think, but opening a new business is just so labor intensive.
Yes.
But fortunate you both love it so much. Tell me a little bit about your backgrounds and how you got into this.
Yeah, I think we're just like lifelong athletes.
Yeah.
I wrestled my entire life. I coached high school at a really high level for 10 years after I graduated college.
Yeah.
And going back to our original, we kind of got pulled into the corporate world and away from that athletic life.
Yeah.
And we just always had this kind of burning desire to go back into it someday. So that's really where we're coming from, just lifelong athletes. And we want to provide that to everybody else. That's where the functional fitness comes in. Yeah. It's about being more athletic, more well-rounded.
More comfortable in your body.
Yeah. We just wanted to take a shot.
And your teachers yourselves, talk to me about your classes and what you teach.
Yeah. So I teach the CrossFit class and the circuit strength class and the CrossFit kids class. So the circuit class that I teach, circuit strength, it's mostly weight-based. We do a lot of like interval. There's some high intensity. There's some focus on strength training. But we really try to show people how important it is to incorporate weights into their fitness, not just that high impact intensity training, which is great, but making sure that you have weights involved in there. And then the CrossFit is more barbell and conditioning type classes. CrossFit Kids is really fun. I used to be a lifeguard and I trained the rookies. I used to teach surf lessons with Primal Surf. Jimmy was a wrestling coach. So we love doing stuff with kids and getting kids in the gym, teaching them how to have proper form and how to lift weights correctly has been really fun. Probably the highlight of my day when I get the kids classes in there.
That is fantastic. And you're training your own children about the importance of fitness in their lives. And I think I always say this, but that's one of the best gifts we can give our kids, because you can teach people to make money, give them an education, but what good is any of it if you don't feel well and you don't feel healthy? And by incorporating fitness into their lives at an early age, you're giving them a path to live a healthy lifestyle for the rest of their life. It's a fantastic gift for all of us to give our kids and to set that example. I just think that is so very important. And that's great. You have the classes there and you make it fun for the kids so they learn to like fitness.
Yes. The most important thing is to have fun. We start and end every class with something fun to get them kind of loosened up and get them into it. And then we kind of focus on the serious part, and then we have a little fun at the end too.
Even for us grownups, we want to have some fun.
Yeah.
You touched on a couple points there about the kids, but also about the weights. Jimmy, touched on that a little bit, why it is so important for us, all of us, but especially as we get older, to have some resistance training in our lives.
Oh, we think it's the most important part. That's why it's in every one of our classes. We don't really, I think maybe we only have one or two, yoga and maybe a Pilates class where we're not using weights. But the resistance training, it is what's going to give us that long-term athleticism as we grow older. That's the goal, to be as active as we can for as long as we can. And resistance training is one of the most important things you can do for that.
Yeah, I mean, all the research for longevity and for healthy aging just encourages so much to have some sort of resistance training in there. I think that it's going to help everybody age better and be able to move more long-term and have a happier, healthier life as they get older.
Absolutely. I think it's 3 to 5% of our muscle mass we lose over a period of every 10 years, starting at age 30, which is kind of depressing. Think about that. Yeah. But on the other side of that coin, there's a lot we can do to either reverse that or to just make it happen a little bit more slowly, which is so important. And it's good for our strength. It's good for our posture. It's good for our balance. And it's great for people's confidence. I've been teaching since I'm 19 years old. And I just see people leave class like they worked, they're tired, they're sweaty, but most people don't leave and go, great. I wish I didn't do that. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. They feel great. And to be a part of that, you're giving somebody something special in their lives. How did that make you feel?
Well, I mean, that was one of our biggest goals when we decided to leave the corporate world. It wasn't just to get into fitness. Our first goal was just to become self-employed. That was our first major goal. And then we said, what is the one thing that we do the most? What's our hobby? What do we love? And that was fitness.
And then it was community. We really, really wanted to just build a positive community. Our lives in the corporate world was kind of pretty negative. Yeah. And we really just wanted to bring something positive to our community. And that's like the coolest part, to get to know our members well, to get to see them come in regularly, to get to see them push hard in class and like push further than they thought they could. I mean, I'm still riding a high from one of my students on Saturday that like just blew my mind on a Saturday workout. And today is Monday and I'm still stoked for what he achieved. And that's just, I don't know, that's just such a fun thing to see people push past their comfort
and
zone.
How he felt afterwards, that feeling that carries over. I'm not sure if people realize how much that carries over into your regular life, because you think, if I could do that, I could do this. I could do this at work, or I could do this with my kids. It's kind of amazing how it works like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that positive contribution to the local businesses, the local business district here is super important to us. We see mothers and daughters coming in here to do exercise classes together.
Yes,
it's amazing.
They've been in my class. I love that.
That's one of the best things to say. So.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's not just your physical health. I always say this to people. If you're feeling down or if you've had a bad day, go work out. Take a walk, do something, move. There's something about it that changes your perspective. And suddenly you get out of your funk or your bad mood. It's just amazing. It's such a good mental health strategy.
Yeah. And the community part and like the group class part, the other thing with COVID is how isolated everybody felt and how much everybody was kind of living on the computers. And we really just feel like to find a live in-person community is becoming even more and more important, just with the way technology kind of really helps you lean into isolation. And, for some things that can be nice, but to have a community that you can come to and rally and, something positive in person together, I think is so important today. Don't
we need that more? I mean, it was wonderful that we had the internet during COVID just so we can stay connected somehow. But I just did an episode on mental health, and that was a big topic. Loneliness, people feeling isolated. I mean, sometimes if you work from home and you don't have a family, you could get up in the morning and not be next to another human being all day long.
Yeah.
And that's just tough. And I'll tell you, I've met so many of my very good friends from the gym or playing tennis. People, when you talk about community, it's a connection. Just like you guys, you have a connection. Being in fitness. My husband and I, we met in a gym. We have that connection. There's something about it that pulls people together in a positive way. You're doing something positive and it pulls people together. You see that in your CrossFit classes as well?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way we went with the CrossFit route because of their community-based classes. That's something that they're really strong on, building that community, having little events after class with people. So I see that's where we see it the most. And we just sort of took that model and applied it to all of our other classes.
Yeah, bringing it into all the classes. Yeah. But that's a big thing for us, is especially in the off season, is doing more, holiday events and just kind of random events where we bring everybody together, potlucks, dressing up for Halloween, just like make it fun.
Yeah. Make it fun, make it a community, because that's, going to encourage people to go. And that's another part of it too. If you have a friend who works out, you kind of connect with them and say, hey, let's go to the gym together. It's something positive to do instead of let's go to the bar and drink. Let's enjoy some time working out together. And that can be such a wonderful social event for people. It's a fun thing to do. Hanging out, meeting more people, because you also have open gym time there as well. You put together every single piece of equipment yourself.
With our bare hands. At the end, me and Christina, we did
and our neighbors, our friends. I mean, we had a lot of help. It was a community event to get this gym put together. Absolutely. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts now that it's finally reality? Is it like, oh my gosh, why did I do this? Or it's like, this is great and I'm so glad.
Oh, definitely a roller coaster. So Brigantine's never had anything like this before. So there's really nothing to really compare us to where we're at right now. So I would say it's been all positive.
Yeah, we're excited.
But there's definitely the ups and downs of the business ownership. We're just learning the flow of the beach crowd. And like you said before, juggling the kids. And sometimes they're in here screaming in the middle of someone's class. And
run and get them out of here.
It's been really hectic. We opened up 4th of July week, the busiest week you could open up here. So we're finally feeling like we have our feet under us. We're getting in a little bit of a flow. So it's feeling really good right now.
So good, because I could tell sometimes when I see your faces, you're a little bit stressed, but that's actually part of it. I mean, you're going to be. It's just, you can't really get around that, but it's how you manage it. And you guys have been doing a really, really good job. Tell me about the feedback you're getting.
Feedback's all been great.
It's been great.
We were really curious. I mean, we just kind of we're not connected with little connection with CrossFit, but they don't really, we created this all kind of out of our brains. And this is what we think people would like. And we've got great feedback.
Our teachers they're all local people like yourselves. We just kind of grabbed all people that were like-minded and we opened the doors and you and all the other teachers just ran with it. So that's been the coolest part for us to see the teachers getting so many compliments from the clients. Yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, you have a good group. I don't know them all, but I've met a lot of them. And it's funny because you had your open house the other day and I was talking with one of the teachers and she was saying, all the teachers are so nice. Everybody's so nice. She goes, then it hit me. Everybody works out. They have a positive outlook. That makes them a little bit more positive. I mean, it doesn't mean you're Mary Sunshine and every day is just, rainbows, but it does give you a better outlook on life. And I just would love everyone to experience that because it can really change people's lives. It really does. And it's not just how you look. It's how you feel inside. It's the accomplishment.
1,000%. Yeah.
So we want people to come in here. We want them to try it out. We want this to be a place of comfort when it comes to exercise. It's kind of like nobody's judging you here. We're here to help everybody.
Yeah, we're working on an onboarding program so that if somebody comes in, they're like, I'd love to do your classes, but I don't know if I'm there. And we're going to set up 2 to 6 personal training sessions where we don't want to personal train you forever. We want you to feel comfortable, to get some feet under you and then jump into the group classes. Just some way that we can bring people in to experience this that are a little nervous and they think that they don't belong here. We want to hold their hand and show them that they really do belong here.
I just love that because I had a woman in my class the other day and she hadn't worked out in a while and she was struggling a little bit. And I went up to her and put my arm around her and we chatted a little bit. I said, everyone had a first day. Everyone had a first day. And no one's looking. Everyone's looking at themselves in the mirror. Don't worry about it. Just do your best, move your body. And she felt so much happier about that. You know, she just felt like, okay, I can do this. I'm like, look, no one's going to be excellent at it the first time. Just get in and do it. And the most important thing I tell everybody, get your sneakers on. Get your sneakers on and get there. You know, I mean, if you start missing, you're going to, it's like kind of like use it or lose it. It can go backward. So you really want to stay with it. Such an important part of
that's
fitness.
Going to be a big, that's going to be a big focus for us. With the first month under our belt is now to kind of figure out how we got the athletes, we got the people that have always been working out, we have some beginners, but how do we get the people that are kind of watching us on the sideline and are like, oh, that place looks cool, but how do we get them to walk in the door and feel comfortable?
I'd love to do that, but I'm kind of scared. And I don't blame people. It's not an environment they're used
people.
to.
Not uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, that's good to have a class or even just a special event, whatever it would be, to just bring those folks in because they need it the most. And once they get the bug, they'll be with you forever because it's really it's been a big part of my life. And I know yours as well. It's just something I don't know how I could function without it. It's just so important to have in your life. You know, it's just not just physically, as I said, but mentally as well. We all need that. So you're doing such a great job. I forgot to ask you, what does Olokai mean?
Health and ocean in Hawaiian. So I lived in Hawaii. I went to college in Hawaii. I spent about 7.5 years there total. When Jimmy and I got married, we quit our jobs and moved out there for a year. My brother and sister have been out there for over 20 years. So we kind of
wanted to... And you came back to New Jersey? What?
Yeah, we all come back.
And we kind of wanted to bring that like Hawaii connection, that island. We're on an island, and health and the ocean is kind of two of the biggest things in our lives. So,
And you're 2 blocks away from the ocean, so it couldn't be more appropriate. I think that's terrific.
You can park your car, you can get a workout, you can go get breakfast and walk to the beach all in one block.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's beautiful. And you did such a great job with it. I wish you all the best. Where can people learn more about the gym?
OlakaiFunctionalFitness.com. We're on Instagram and social media. Olokai Functional Fitness. Or just come.
Just come in and talk to us.
1200 West Brigantine Avenue in Brigantine.
I wish you the best. Christina and Jimmy Perry, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you, Robin.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining me today for Living Well with Robin Stoloff, empowering you to live a healthier life. Please like and subscribe, and I'll keep you posted on my most recent episode. Until I see you next time, keep living well.